escalated steadily from where they took his driver's license away because he's running stop signs and not knowing where he was and stuff like this, to where he can't even eat properly and has to be spoon-fed and hospitalized by nurses and attendants in the rehab place because the food's going down the wrong tube and stuff. It's pretty sick. Anyway, it makes, a guy like me stuck in this situation pretty damn helpless. There's nothing I can do. All I can do is pray for him. I can't. It's like they say in AA, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I can't change. Power to change the things that I can. And wisdom to know the difference between the two. Amen to that. I have an issue with AA because the first step is the killer. That first step's the doozy. To admit that you're powerless over alcohol and that you've lost all control over your life. I haven't. So apparently I don't qualify to speak in an AA meeting anymore, as a woman reminded me. She says, you can't speak unless you're an alcoholic. You'll have to sit down or leave the meeting. Are you an alcoholic? And what's your name? So I says, yeah, my name's Ed Mike, and I guess I am an alcoholic. Whatever that means. And the guy looks at me and says, well, and I go, I think it means, like, if you've had problems with alcohol in the past in your life, because I've been 7 years sober now, and California. Here, I'll prove it. But I haven't had a drop to drink in over 7 years, and it works if you work it. And God help me, weed is nowhere near as evil as alcohol, if it's an evil at all. It's been demonized by our devil-worshipping government that substituted its prohibition against alcohol and tobacco and firearms for a prohibition against marijuana, which is unjustly prosecuted, I might add, because marijuana is actually a helpful medicinal herb and increases your virility, your eyesight, keeps you free from flu and colds, and just has a myriad of different health benefits. My son-in-law, who's been suffering from back pains and chronic pain, just depression and just different shit, they had him on SSRIs, just like they had my son on SSRIs and all this shit. They've got off it. Now they smoke weed. They medicate with weed. It's much more easily regulated. You can self-medicate. You can adjust your dosage. You can eat it. You can smoke it. You can vape it. And other forms of administration. There's CBC and THC, both, and different hybrids and varieties of endo, which is indica, or basically what they call sesaman, or I'm losing my mind. Sativa. The Sativa brand, which is to say it's more of a head high, whereas the indica is more of a affects the body, muscular coordinations, and so on and so forth. But that's too simplified of an explanation. It's much more complex than that. The chemical makeup of each plant is different. The compounds, the cannabinoids contained in are found in different and varying quantities and mixtures. combinations. And it's those alkaloids that cause the effects. So, and are considered medicine and used in modern medicine to the tune of like 96% of all prescription medications contain some form of it. So no wonder the medical community and the AMA and the doctors won't prescribe it, and the nursing and the hospitals are all down on it, because, and the cops and everybody, because they make their living off of it. The cops get to throw people in jail for smoking it. The doctors own the stocks on the stock market for the insurance companies that end up underwriting the medical community that actually makes the drugs from it, and so on and so forth. It's just a big clusterfuck and a hand jerk. You know, one guy jerking another guy's shit off, you know? It's just bullshit. It's a big circle jerk, and I'm tired of it. These people are all fuckers and hypocrites. They do exactly the same thing that they prosecute these people that they've got forever in jail, rotting in hell. They do the same thing as them, so why aren't they in jail? And I don't understand this, you know, Hillary for prison shit, when the fucking people that want to throw her in prison and talk all this shit on her are just as evil. You know? I don't like Hillary Clinton, and I don't like Trump either. So there you go. Hell, I don't like anybody. I'm an equal opportunity hater. I don't fucking like anybody at this point. Not even myself. I'm a misanthropic son of a bitch. But I tell you what, I'm not out there shooting people. I'm not out there stabbing people. I'm not out there smacking people in the face. Although it could happen. Any day could happen. Because that's what they're fueling America up for. They're teaching our kids racism, violence, anger, acting out, lack of complete social discipline and tolerance, ignorance, lowest common denominator, mob mentality, flash mobbing, just shit. This country's turned to shit. Why is it turned to shit? Because of you. Because of me. We're the only ones that can change it. I'm doing my part right now by talking about it. And that's all I can do. I'm 62 this year. I have limited funds. I'm talking about $36 to my name in cash and $30 in a PayPal account. 66 bucks, give or take a penny. I'm socially dependent right at this point in time on the good graces of my wife, although they've beholden me to her when, you know, our marriage isn't none of their business. It's between me and her. We're beholden to each other. We made those vows a long time ago, 34 years ago. Going on 35 now. So, that doesn't have nothing to do with their law, my law, or anybody else's law. That's God's law. We were married in the church in the eyes of God. For better, for worse, rich or poor, sickness and health. That includes all mental health too. Mental, physical, spiritual health. For better, for worse, rich or poor. That's marriage. Good times and bad times. It's not all sex like people think. That shit's kid shit. Love isn't even about sex. People confuse sex with love because they love to have sex. You know? I love to smoke weed. That doesn't mean that weed is love because I have a love for weed any more than it means that sex is love because you have a love for sex. That's something that people don't understand. Sex is like an addiction, like any other substance or food stuff or whatever. You can engorge yourself with it. You can have too much. You can do excessively. Bloat yourself, you know, or you can starve yourself. be starved. You know, there's a happy middle ground to everything. And I think that's the point. The Buddha went down to the water because there was a girl who was down at the water's edge, and she was there with a bowl of rice. And she was cleaning her rice to prepare it in a pot so she could have dinner. So the Buddha saw her and was meditating on the Bodhi tree 6 years with, and he suddenly saw her in his view. He says, "What a beautiful creature. I want to take a closer look." So he got up from his tree stand and went hunting down to the river's edge, and there was a girl with a bowl of rice. And as she swirled the water around and cleaned the flack from the rice, the bowl started floating, spinning around, floating upstream. And just at that precise moment in time, as it was rotating, it's kind of like standing still as in the water, a boatman came by with a musician on it, and he heard the boatman instruct the musician, "If the string is too loose, the guitar won't play. If the string is too taut, it will break." And in that way, the middle way was recognized. The path of the river. The commonality of all man, the water. The true religion. The middle way. The way between excesses, the way between right and wrong, path of tolerance. You have one side, you have the other. Buddha. This is Trap Red.